Now that we've got an idea about reverb, what it is, how to use it, let's talk about one of the other big guns of mixing, which is delay. Delay, well, let's define the word first. Delay, the word delay means basically a period of time that something is postponed or it's behind or late. It's an amount of time that something is late from something else. It's a delay. And in music, a delay is basically another word for echo. In the same way that an echo, when you're in a canyon or a huge hall or something, and you make a woo, 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 it comes back to you like that, we call that echo. So in here, we're not calling it echo, we're calling it delay. It's the same signal, the same sound, but it's delayed, and it often repeats da 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 and fades over time like that. So that's what the word delay means as far as music goes. So delay is used extensively in mixing for all sorts of purposes, whether it's to just fill out the space in a mix and make it sound like there's more things going on, or to make it really loud and then the original sound layers on top of all of its delays and makes this cool effect. Sometimes it's even used just as a rhythmic thing, so that like you have something that's doing short little hits and then you use a delay and it fills in the spaces between the hits. So we'll look at all those possibilities, and let's start with just checking out the kinds of delays that we have in Studio One. There's 3, very similar to the reverb, and I think I'll use the bells as an example. I'll just turn them up. So I'm going to come to my inserts and I will look under PreSonus and we'll go for the first delay, which is analog delay. Now analog delay is great. It can do a whole bunch of cool stuff. It's got a lot of controls on it. So this is its basic state. It's repeating at quarter notes for those of you who know about music. We can make it go faster or slower. How about like this? We can change all sorts of things, like for how long does it do its delays. We can make it go side to side. We can change the frequency balance of the sound. So now the delays are quite muted sounding. If I turn up the mix so we don't hear the original bells, we only hear the delays. Then I move the high cut. Now they have all the high frequencies, take them out again. And when it's mixed with the original, it sounds great like that. So there's a bunch of presets here, just like all the plugins that it's good to experiment with. But you can also just start twisting some knobs and see what happens. That's one of the best ways to learn. So that's analog delay. We'll remove that and move on to the next kind, which is beat delay. Beat delay is quite similar, but it has some other features that have to do with how it moves side to side. There's a few less controls in general here, but we can do some interesting things. Like if I put this to stereo. Now you hear that the left and the right channel are slightly different. I'll turn up the mix all the way. So that's a pretty interesting sound. This, of course, has some presets as well. Good to check that out. This is just, you can do a lot of the same things with this as you can with analog delay. It's a bit of a different interface, simplified in a certain way, and has more to do with like getting rhythmic effects, being it's called beat delay. You can program in the value you want in terms of quarter notes, eighth notes, whatever it happens to be, and then you can make them ping pong around side to side at that and have different amounts on each side and a bunch of cool stuff like that. So let's remove this and let's look at the last one, which is groove delay. Now this is quite a different thing here. Groove delay shows you a visual representation of your delays. So they call it taps. So here's the first tap, second tap, third tap, fourth tap. So you see the fourth one is turned all the way down. So if we play this, let's play one hit so we can hear. If you listen carefully, it goes da 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 da. That's because every fourth one is turned down. So if I change this a little bit, turn this one down and turn this one down and bring the last one up. So now we get da 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 da. So you can literally go in and design your delay inside of Groove Delay and get it to not just be a constant pace, but actually you make what they say is grooves out of it, rhythmic patterns that can repeat over time. So it's got some more parameters to change here, and you can change all sorts of things like each different tap can be panned in a different place. It can have different frequency response. It can be swung. We haven't learned about swing rhythms yet, but once we learn, it's here. And it's got a bunch of other familiar controls, and of course, it's got some presets to check out. Those are the three kinds of delay. Basically, analog delay is what I'm going to use most often, but the other two are equally useful and have more specific use cases of when you might want to try those out. But as with everything, it's good to experiment. Just throw them on there and start moving things around, changing presets, and try it out and see what kind of results you get. Now that we understand what a delay is and the kinds that we have to work with, we'll learn about using it in practice, like in the actual beat. When's a good place to use it? Should it be loud? Should it be quiet? On what kind of instrument? All that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about that now.